have to we have to focus on ourselves, because we're at a point now where when President Devine was talking about the little brother, it was all good till you got in our politics. Now you are standing at the White. Look, Joan Pierre was the press secretary in the White House and had the nerve to fix her mouth and tell us that she don't agree with reparations. Who the f is she to stand in a position that she could never have if we didn't give it to her, and then tell us what we don't deserve in our country? You go back to Haiti and finish paying France since you want to talk about reparations.
Yo, what's good, y'all? Elite Live Streams. We back with another one. How you guys doing out there? Welcome to another Elite Live Streams, man. We back. It's hot. You know what I'm saying? It's the summer, but we gonna make sure that we keep bringing you guys this quality content. Obviously, there's a lot going on. And you know we gotta cook, man. You know we gotta talk about this because, you know, over here, we always like to bring a little bit of dialogue to what is already currently happening. But then at the same time, we like to step back and take a full scope about everything that we kind of see from all different angles. And that's why I had to put together this thumbnail, you feel me? Because right now, what up, Torian? Appreciate you pulling up, brother. Right now, we are in full obsession mode. Foundational Black Americans are the topic. We are always at the forefront of the conversations, and it's starting to get out of hand, man. And I made sure that I included a good amount of the people who have been a part of this rhetoric and a part of the straight up BS obsessive behavior that we've been seeing on the internet, man. I've never seen anything like this. Obviously, Foundational Black Americans have delineated, and we've been choosing to put ourselves first. And just like in the clip I just played from the Daily Wrap-Up crew, salute to them. You know what I'm saying? They had Brooke on, and Brooke, obviously, she goes hard. She's always making sure that she's standing on lineage business. But she had a lot to say about the aspect of the fact that, sure, you know, as Foundational Black Americans, we don't really have a problem too much with a lot of different people, right? We try our best to stay in our lane and do what we're supposed to do. But the fact that we have these people who are put in positions who are supposed to represent us, but in reality, they're actually working against us. And we want to talk about that today because we got a lot of the tethers are losing their mind, man, since the delineation movement has happened and has exposed a lot of content creators, man. And I thought it was important to make sure that we featured them. Guys like Deontay Kyle, guys like Amaral Fuddle, all right? We ain't finna be playing them games with Amaral Fuddle, all right? Mr. Fresh and Fit himself, right? Adam 22, the slime bag who has literally enriched himself on the culture of Black Americans, specifically in the West Coast where I am born and raised. I was here, my grandparents were here, my great-grandparents were here. Yes, we ain't playing those games, Tori. And I took notes from you, bro. We finna call him by his government name, Amaral Fuddle. Okay. the loser. All right. So as we continue, Adam 22, the slime bag who has enriched himself off of Black American culture, obsesses over Black American culture, obsesses over Black American men. Y'all know what we talking about over here. So we gonna keep it going. All right. Poetic Flacco, the tether himself, okay? A person who has put on so many capes and has played the public for so long, like a fiddle, right? This guy's going around here acting like he's pro-Black when just a couple years ago, he was over there trying to expose somebody who he's now aligned with, Dr. Umar Johnson. Hey, salute, Ezra. Salute, brother. Dr. Umar Johnson, the Pan-African gorilla, right? The king of Pan-Africanism, right? Who has literally stolen money and contributions and donations for a school that still has not opened. Y'all help me understand, man. Y'all help me understand what's going on here, yo. We already got Byron Donalds. Y'all know how he gets down. John Pierre, like the sister Brooke was talking about. We already know who Donald Trump is. But you got to have front and center the biggest of them all, George Zimmerman, the snake himself. All right. And then right next to him, oh, yeah, we got to represent for our FBA sister. Salute to our FBA sister, Miss Sonia Massey. Rest in peace to Miss Sonia Massey. All right. We're going to take a moment of silence, you know what I'm saying, and make sure that we pay our respects to what she has gone through. And not only that, a little bit of celebration for what the ancestors had brought forth to us, okay? Because what happened to Sonia Massey, we already know it was a terrible, terrible situation, right? July 6th, 2024. This was only 2 years ago, okay? And it's funny because when a lot of people talk about what happened to her, they act as if this was so long ago. This was 2 years ago, guys, all right? 2 years ago, Sean Grayson went into this woman's house and assassinated her in her own kitchen, all right? And make sure that you guys go over to Torian's channel. He did a great live about it today. He spoke on this specific topic, but I wanted to speak on it from the grander scale, right? Because this is also a part of what we're going to be talking about today. And the fact of the matter is, we started to see the infiltration of not only what Foundational Black Americans have been able to do within the media space and social media space by raising awareness for not only ourselves, but what we are trying to do moving forward, right? What our plans are, the certain things that we're trying to accomplish as a collective people and lineage, right? No disrespect to anyone else, but it's time for us to focus on ourselves, right? Just like the sister made it clear, right? So let's play that clip so that we can make sure you guys are all on the same page, just in case you just got in here. All right. So let me bring this up. All right. Hold up. Is it on mute? Yeah, it's on mute. Hold up.
President Devon was talking about the little brother. It was all good till you got in our politics. Now you are standing at the White. Look, Jean Pierre was the press secretary in the White House and had the nerve to fix her mouth and tell us that she don't agree with reparations. Who the f is she to stand in a position that she could never have if we didn't give it to her? And then tell us what we don't deserve in our country. You go back to Haiti and finish paying France since you want to talk about reparations.
All right. And so
we're at a point now where
all right, so my bad, guys. But that's a big point right now, I think, of the contention for a lot of us as Foundational Black Americans is the fact that we have started to see slowly but surely, right, putting together the breadcrumbs, right, of all these different groups who have found their ways to be able to get in the way of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish as a people, right? So if we're thinking about that in that way, right, it makes you get into that mindset of understanding the obsession and why all these people collectively over this last year, all right, we're acting like this has been just, you know, a lot of, no, this has only been probably a year and a half since we've really started to see a lot of these people's real true colors show, right? And so now that we've started to delineate and separate ourselves, we have started to see a attack, right? A complete attack on our lineage, right? Not just, okay, yeah, like, it's just no. They're trying to classify 50 million people all under one banner, all under one thing. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Ezra. He says, toss my shoe at the opposition, run me my reparations, and then some. That's facts, man, because obviously, I don't have to continue those conversations over here because that's what we're working on, right? We always talking about what we need to make sure that we're collectively pushing forward. But what I have noticed, though, is the fact that the conversation continues to shift because of what? The tethers, right? You got people like a Deontay Kyle, right? Who comes out of nowhere attacking the lineage, right? Where did this guy come from? Right? Everybody's asking the questions, right? What did he choose to do to be able to come out here and have what he has to say about Black Americans, right? Specifically, foundational Black Americans. He has a bone to pick for whatever reason. And we all know the reasons, right? But just for the speculative time frame that we're in right now, let's explore it. Let's talk about it, right? Because I don't need to play any of his clips because I think, y'all have already cooked them enough. You know what I'm saying? He's been on a barbecue. But like I said, we're going to try to stick to the overall, right? What does this actually have to do with everything? Okay, bet. So Deontay Kyle having a specific bone to pick with a specific lineage who has chosen to go our own way and to prioritize our wants and needs for our people and our future, right? We've done a wealth transfer to make sure that we are taking our money and investing it back into our community, right? We're doing everything that we can to make sure that if you guys have something to say about us, we will make sure to rebuttal that. And not only that, we're going to back it up with the facts and receipts to make sure that you guys can't just be out here lying on the lineage. Okay? That's what be happening. It's a lot of lying on the lineage. It's a lot of fabrication. It's a lot of grandiose stories that nobody can fact check or back up. We already talked about Tasha K. Okay? We already talked about these people, but specifically Deontay Kyle does the same exact thing. There's a pattern here. And that's what I'm starting to actually notice. And that's what we're going to point out today. We're going to go through the pattern. Okay, because there's a pattern here that we're starting to notice. Okay, a lot of the DNC operatives who have, dark money invested in their platforms to debunk and try to manipulate a specific mindset that's growing among a specific people about tangibles that are needed for our community, right? There's all these little things that are connected. It isn't just us talking on the internet. It's also us talking about tangibles, right? And that's something about, a lot of the different Black content creators are talking about this, tangibles, right? Things that we actually need for our community, and the fact that we're going to continue to raise awareness for it until it gets done, right? We've started to accept the fact that in order for us to grow and to be able to control our image, our name and likeness as a lineage, we have to make sure that we're gatekeeping against people like Deontay Kyle. Do you guys see where I'm going with this now? Is it all starting to make sense, right? Because when we talk about an FBA obsession, right? We're talking about obsessive behavior. They're constantly online, notoriously online, speaking about people unprovoked. There are foundational Black Americans everywhere. And I talk about this. I always reference the Fight Club, but I think it's a very good reference for who we are as a people. During the Fight Club, there was a scene where Brad Pitt's character, right? Christopher Darden, he says, hey, we are your waiters, right? We're your chefs. We're your police officers. We're everywhere. And that's foundational Black Americans. We're everywhere, man. So when you speak on us, please believe that there are going to be people from all walks of life, because we all come from different places, different backgrounds, but we all share in the same lineage that our foremothers and fathers were indigenous to these lands or were African slaves brought here on slave ships, enslaved, and were prisoners of war. All right. That is a specific subgroup that we as foundational Black Americans are a part of. And once we said that, hey, this is who we are, we admit it. Yes, we are not African. We are our own people. We said, bet. You guys have been telling us this for generations. We fought for you guys. We put our lives on the line. We worked. We pushed for free. Okay. Built this country for free. Now that it's here, now that you guys can reap the benefits, you guys actually want to be disrespectful to those people who did this for you out of the kindness of their heart. Okay, bet. We're going to go our own way. Thank you for your services. Now that we've done that, all hell has broken loose. We have now become a hate group. We are now the enemy of the internet. All right. You bring up FBA, everybody start getting tight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody start acting weird. Everybody saw, oh, you wanted them FBA N-words, huh? You wanted them FBA ninjas. I remember just a couple years ago, everybody was talking about hoteps. Y'all remember that era, the hotep era, when it was Young Pharaoh and Dr. Umar, you feel me? And who else was it? And it was Brother Polite, right? Remember all them hoteps that y'all love to talk about, all the people with knowledge of self? Okay, bet. So guess what? Once their actual facts that were looked at extensively, people started looking at their lineage and started to do their family trees. A lot of people started to say, hey, you know what? What the Moors were saying was actually true. We have been here. We never actually were in Africa. Maybe Black people are the indigenous people of the Americas. Wow. Oh, that's crazy. So once we start to actually admit that, now we the problem? Now foundational Black Americans is the problem, right? Because now that we've started to admit and actually say, hey, this is our lineage. You guys was right. We actually looked up our lineage. We traced our family tree. It shows indigenous roots. I got family over here. I got family over there. This makes sense. This makes perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? Hey, salute to Tori. He says, I always say we are the trendsetters of the world. The Lowry seasoning salt. Yeah, man, it's us and everybody else when it comes to just flavor and understanding, slang, lingo, innovation, elevation, scientific advancement, mathematical advancement, aerospace advancement, audio engineering, musical engineering. We can keep going, but you know, Tori, you know what's up. So look, as we continue to have this conversation, right, we started to really start to see more and more people, right, starting to be able to what? Attack the lineage and do what? Get themselves clout from attaching themselves to attacking Black Americans. Like, let's say a Mr. Lang, right? A guy like this dude right here, right? Who just got obviously arrested for driving a car into a crowd of people. A menace to society, a literal menace to society, is able to continuously terrorize the community on the basis of what? Free speech and antagonizing foundational Black American communities. How long is this guy gonna continue to terrorize the community, I ask? Because it seems to me like he just gets off the hook every single time he does something, right? I mean, we just saw Chud the Builder. He got bail, he got bond, right? He's out. And now you got his friend over here driving his car, his literal car, into a crowd of people. All right. This is who we're talking about here. Disgusting human beings, right? But we ain't gonna talk about that, right? Nobody's gonna talk about these guys, right? These guys fly under the radar. They don't make a big deal about them, right? But at the same time, you see every single thumbnail or every single description is something about foundational Black Americans being this or that. But y'all want to address this man though. Where the thousands of videos calling out the white nationalist hate groups? Where the thousands of videos that are calling out these white supremacists? Where are the thousands of videos, y'all? Because I don't see them. I don't be seeing them, bro. It's only so many people that really be standing on business when it comes to attacking these colored folks right here. And one of them is in my chat right now. Torian is one of the only ones I'll be seeing smashing the gas on these YT men who be out here terrorizing the community. And obviously me, I'll be on that. But like I said, my videos, when I post about it, I could get 20 views on it. Straight up. When I talk about them type of topics, I'm gonna get like 20 views, bro. Straight up. But don't let me talk about some black folks though. I'm gonna get thousands of views on them videos, right? But when we talk about these people, when we talk about them terrorizing the community, nah, I can't get no views. I don't hit the algorithm like I would if I was talking about somebody else, right? And that's my problem with tethers. Because the tethers be getting in the way of the business that Black Americans got to get to. We got an agenda already. We got an enemy that we got to focus on. Why are you guys getting in the way of this? Why are you guys protecting the real enemy? Why are you guys aligning with the enemy? It begs a real question. And that's what we're talking about today, because we ain't just going to be talking about just the small potatoes. This is a big picture here. As foundational Black Americans, we have an actual issue that we're trying to get to. We got tangibles that we need to make account for. Work for hundreds of years, thousands of years that needs to be paid back. That debt needs to be paid back. And it's on us as a lineage to make sure that those debts get paid. I'm very passionate about fulfilling that prophecy. All right? Because this is a prophecy, y'all. It is. We're going to get this reparations. And I see it. I know it. But the only way that we're going to be able to do it is if we keep smashing the gas and getting these tethers out the way. Because guess what? Every single picture, every single person in this picture right here. Let me take down this ugly dude right here. Let me take him down, put him up. Every person in this picture right here has been just getting in the way. They're just getting in the way, y'all. All they doing is getting in the way of who the real enemy is. And so now we got to smash the gas on the internet, got to get y'all out the way so that we can focus on the real enemy out here. And y'all, like I said, it begs the question, what is really going on if y'all getting in the way? Who paying y'all? What entities are being taken out? Straight up, I got to know, man, because something ain't right. Something ain't right, man. So look, we're gonna keep smashing the gas on these tethers, bro. Y'all know what we're gonna do. So look, shout out to Corey Holcomb, our FBA brother and comedian.
Deserves his credit for this word that he put out there. And this word is called tether. So the other day I just looked on my phone. What is the definition of the word tether? I was laughing at this shit. Thai. Oh shit! This went to Thai restaurants.
Now look, he joking around, but that's a great question, ain't it? Ain't it a great question? What is the definition of a tether? Because we got to look at it now, right? And look, this is something that I truly believe. If it don't apply, let it fly, right? If it doesn't apply to you, if you don't take offense to it, let it fly. But the fact that so many people take offense to the word tether, doesn't it make you think? Doesn't it make you think that maybe a hit dog is hollering? If a word like tether really makes you feel that way, it must have some validity to it, no? If you're on that type of time, obviously, right? So I'm gonna let Corey continue though.
Phones ain't shit, man.
I thought they were gonna go to tetherball.
Show the definition of tether again, bitch.
No.
Oh, damn.
Well, hey, this is adult content, y'all.
That bitch act like she don't hear me. Just like
It's
the bitches I
adult
be.
content. Adult
Oh
content.
my God.
Hey, Nair. Look up tether. What is the definition of a tether?
All right. So let's go. Let's find out.
Rope, chain, or cord used to tie an animal or object down so it cannot move too far away.
I love that. He said a rope used to tie another animal down so it cannot move too far away. What is the other definition? Tether. The horse had to be tethered to a post.
And my
love
grandpa
this
built
word.
me a tetherball. And
Is it another definition? Because I saw one
I used to play
when I
tether.
asked on the iPhone what was its definition. It was hilarious to me because this is so amazing how this word gets under the skin of people because they know it describes them.
Didn't I just say that? If it don't apply, let it fly, right? But the fact of the matter is, it applies to a lot of people. It applies to a lot of people who have tethered on to Black American culture. And now that they're being called out, it definitely makes them feel some type of way, right? It builds something in their spirit, right? Something that they just cannot let go of it. You feel me? Hey, salute to Jordan Peele. You right. Shout out to Jordan Peele for the term in the movie Us. Yes, indeed. 100%. Right? And here's the definition that Corey was looking for. An invisible bond, an emotional tie or limit to someone's patience or resources, y'all. Sound like a tether to me, don't it? Don't it sound like a tether to you? Yeah, it does. And like I said, if it don't apply, you let it fly. But if we bring up this picture, it represents a lot of people in this picture, y'all. A lot of people have tethered on to Black American culture. And now since the delineation movement has taken over the internet, taken over the world, all right, 50 million people are on code. Yeah, now they cannot cash in on that Black American check, all right? Because this is a Black American economy that we're talking about. Access to the Black American economy, foundational Black American money. Yeah, once you lose access to that, you start getting a little tight. Once we start saying, nah, bro, you ain't like us. You something else, bro. You got a different agenda. You moving funny. Once we started to do that, once we started to look at everybody lineage, once we started to pay attention to what your talking points were and where you come from and how you actually are treating other people. Yeah, nah, bro, you can't use that. Straight up, Ezra, try to use us for relevance. Facts. Those days are done. It's a wrap. It's over. No more. Like I said, gone are the days where it was okay for everybody to cash in on Black American culture, but then us not using our voice and platforms to say, nah, bro, this ain't it. This is a different person. This is so-and-so. They had this to say in the past about us. They had this to say about who we are as a people. And mind you, the internet is forever. It's undefeated. Whatever you say can and will be used against you in the court of public opinion. So guess what? When you say stuff about a people of 50 million strong people who, like I said earlier, we're everywhere. We're not just on the internet. We're in real life. We're the politicians. We're your police officers. We're your construction workers. We're your flight attendants. We're your pilots. We're your engineers. We're your scientists. We're your doctors. We're your RNs. Black American folks, when you talk about the lineage, you better be careful because you never know who you might run into. You never know how much power somebody may have who you talking about, their lineage, their ancestors, their forefathers and foremothers. You got to be careful with how you talk about people, because guess what? There's a fate for everybody, all of us. And if you go out here maliciously lying on the lineage, you will be held accountable. That's just what it is in 2026. All right. In 2026, foundational Black Americans are standing on business for the lineage. If you got some crazy stuff to say, if you lying, if you doing any BS, we calling it out, and it's coming on Front Street. Shout out to Water God TV, who be smashing the gas on anybody who be out here disrespecting the lineage, man. It's a lot of content creators out here, y'all, who y'all really don't want no smoke with. I'm being real with you. And the fact of the matter is, when you're going out here saying inflammatory things, this is what happens. People like Corey Holcomb, who's a big time comedian. He's on the code.
Go
bro.
ahead, give it to it.
A line to which someone or something is attached as for security. The limit of one's strength or resources.
A line to which someone is attached for security.
I mean, that describes it perfectly. Because basically, you got Black lineage over here, you got American Blacks, and then whatever we do, they come in and then they pretend to be affiliated or with that idea, and they disrupt it.
Could he have said it any better? Could he have said it any better? Okay. And that's why I made sure when I made this thumbnail, I had to do this. Because everybody in this thumbnail can be easily accused of that. Adam 22, Poetic Flacco, Admiral Fuddle, Deontay Kyle, Byron Donalds, okay? These are all people who have literally used our lineage to divert and take resources out of our community and using it now against us, bro. I got to sit up here and listen to Fat Deontay patronize me about being Black American and being proud of my lineage, and the fact that he ain't a part of it. He mad. Well, keep being mad, bro. Ain't nobody got time for your fat ass feelings, bro. Straight up, bro.
I mean, like, well put. But see, this is what happened. There was a group of us who were kidnapped and brought over here, and we built this mother for nothing. We were.
All right. We built it from nothing. That's a fact. We built this from nothing. Nothing was here before foundational Black Americans built it. All right. Our people who were stolen not only from other places, but we're here, bro. Prisoners of war on these lands. They built this country, and I got to sit up here and listen to these people disrespect the lineage, bro. That's why a lot of this is a divine intervention. Delineation has changed the game for the better. It has now exposed the people who are not with us, who are working against us. And now actively, we can point them out and say, you know what? That person is a tether. That person is not good for our community. That person is going to do harm to our community, and we will not allow them to do it freely. You do that, it's up. We going up. You going up. You out of here, bro. Straight up, man. That's just what it is, bro. Like, we not finna play these games, bro.
When President Devine was talking about the little brother, it was all good till you got in our politics. Now you are standing at the White. Look, Joan Pierre was the press secretary in the White House and had the nerve to fix her mouth and tell us that she don't agree with reparations. Who the f is she to stand in a position that she could never have if we didn't give it to her?
What else we gotta say, man? What else we gotta say, bro? Salute to Brooke, man. She be standing on business, lineage business, and that's a fact. All these people who have been able to eat, bro, eating good, y'all, eating good, all right, eating good off of us. All these people right here eating good, bro. And what, we supposed to not stand on business? We not supposed to call them out? We not supposed to say nothing about this? No, bro. Nah, gatekeeping is in full effect. You say anything about the lineage, we're standing on business about it. You lie about the lineage, we definitely standing on business about it. You try to benefit from our pain, suffering, and distress, you are going to be called out. Those days are done, bro. All this, oh yeah, nah, we just gonna be able to say whatever because we're part of the brothers. You know, we all together. No, bro, we're not. And we've never been together. We've been the only ones standing on business against the enemy, and y'all had to get behind us. And guess what? We said, I bet. You know what? Instead of us being at the forefront, y'all got it. Y'all go ahead and fight for it. We're going to fight for ourselves. We ain't got time to fight for y'all no more because y'all don't have our best interests at heart. Y'all not thinking about us like we thinking about y'all. And in any bad relationship, I want this to be clear, in any bad relationship, whether it's a friend, whether it's intimate, whether it's a family member, if you are constantly being mistreated, you need to separate yourself from that person. Do not allow yourself to continuously be used, abused, and mistreated. We as a people have much more pride and respect for ourselves to ever continue this cycle that we was in, bro. It's over. That cycle was toxic, and it was because of our own social conditioning that we've gone through over thousands of years, man. Trying our best to be able to connect ourselves to something else when all we needed to do was connect right here. All we needed was us. All we ever needed was us. But we obviously wanting to grow and wanting to make sure that we continue to bond with other communities, we tried our best. But it's over, man. We did what we had to do. We did what we could. And so now it's time to focus on us. It's time for us to put all of that energy, all of that love, all of that respect, all of that honor on ourselves and on our ancestors because they deserve it. We deserve it. Straight up. And that's why I'm going to continue to smash the gas on tangibles, bro, because we deserve it. We deserve it. All right. Because Corey talks about this. All right. Listen.
Slaves.
He ain't lying.
Do you ever hear this stuff on?
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I watch NBC, CBS, they never, the people who were kidnapped from their homeland, Africa, were brought here on boats.
And America, all right, let's make sure that we keep it on code because Brother Corey, obviously, he's getting into the knowledge of self. And he's starting to understand about what happened in the transatlantic slave trade. But he also needs to understand what happened right here in what they consider today the United States of America, the North Americas, okay, the continent. What happened to us, the indigenous people who were here? He also needs to make sure that he understands that part. Because that is a big part of this, is the fact that a lot of us as foundational Black Americans have direct lineage to the indigenous roots right here in this land for thousands of years, okay? Artifacts and very, very early fossils have been found that showed the earliest people were melanated and they were here in North America, man. That cannot be debunked. It's facts.
That they filled up to the point where they had to just throw motherfuckers overboard as they died because they didn't make it all the way from Africa to here on a boat without a motor on it.
Rowing.
Right. I might be exaggerating without a motor, but I'm just saying. We took the slow way here, and it was so packed. All the people who died from the piss and feces and starvation, they threw them overboard where they said the sharks would follow these boats.
Listen, man, not enough people know about slavery, y'all, who really understand what actually happened and how long it was and how treacherous a lot of these backdoor deals was, a lot of the human trafficking that really was going on, right? This was the true definition of human trafficking. The most human trafficked people of all time were foundational Black Americans, and that's just a fact. We were trafficked not only from different countries, but we were trafficked right here on these lands. The most trafficked people of all people are foundational Black Americans. You can dock it, Put it on your historic books, all that stuff. And this is stuff that you're not going to learn in school. You're going to have to do your own research to find this stuff out because it's very dark, okay? The history is very dark. All right, I'm going to show y'all this book once again just so y'all could be on code with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Just so y'all could be on code with this shit, man. We don't play. We really do this. All right. So look, they wanted to burn this book. All right. This book was up to be burned because the information in here, they don't want to talk about it. They ain't gonna teach you this in the regular curriculum. All right. People in bondage, they're not gonna teach you about this type of stuff. They're not gonna have those type of books readily available in your libraries and public curriculums. So naturally, when we talk about the brutality and the sure devastation that slavery did to us as a people, when you have people coming around here, and I hated to hear this. I hated to hear Master P. I hated to hear Master P try to downplay slavery. I hated to hear that from that brother because I look up to Master P a lot. I really respect him as a black man. I really respect him as a black American entrepreneur and innovator, but he's off base when he says that, and Unc needs to be talked to correctly because he doesn't understand how vast and how destructive slavery really was, bro. We should never stop talking about this because guess what? Them people, the 24 karat people, the small hats, they'll never let you forget about what happened to them over there in Germany. They'll never let you forget that. So why would Foundational Black Americans ever let y'all forget what y'all did to us, especially if you still haven't paid back the debt? No, bro. We need to be paid back the debt before any of us start being quiet about some slavery. Give us our reparations, cash payments, and land grants, and then I'll shut up. I'll be real quiet on my acres of land that I'm cultivating with my people. But until then, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, man. Excuse my language, y'all. Y'all know I don't be cussing, but I just don't know what's up with these people, bro. And it was not that long ago. Facts, man. Torian just talked about the fact that the other day on my stream, when I was talking about what was happening when they was trying to compare FBA to the KKK, and I explained to Tasha K how recently one of these church bombings happened in 1965, Torian's principal her sister was in that little situation, bro. So it was not that long ago. Me and Torian are around the same age, bruh. So nah, it wasn't that long ago. Ezra, you're right. And like I mentioned, the fact of the matter is a lot of people really don't understand history. They have not taken time to sit back and read and really actually take an account for what really happened here. Who are we as a people? What happened in the history books? What are they lying to us about? What do we not know? Those are all things that went through my mind as I went on my own knowledge of self journey. And I went on my own historical journey where I was studying endlessly to understand so many different things that I just didn't know, bro. When I'm sitting in these think tanks with a lot of the early homies, I'm talking early 2000s, y'all. I'm sitting in think tanks. I'm going to Lamert Park. I'm going to Dr. Sabi talks. You feel me? I'm over there, Nipsey Hussle on the block. Like this was the time in LA that a lot of people don't talk about, but there was an era out here where the health, wellness, knowledge of self, consciousness community was all together. You feel me? And this is why Tariq, even his museum, that's why it's placed in the spot it's placed, because Tariq used to do a lot of talks and a lot of seminars in those communities, bro. And that's why I always laugh when people try to downplay Tariq, but they don't really know that Tariq been out here. Tariq is really like a public figure, like not just a guy on the internet. Like he really used to be having talks and seminars and meetups. And obviously those intersections connect where you had people like Dr. Sabi, who was an icon in Los Angeles wellness community. If you were vegan, or if you were somebody who was a vegetarian, or you studied to try to get your health to a certain level on an alkaline understanding, Dr. Sabi was the only person you could go through out here, bro. And so when I'm talking about all this stuff, people are just like blown away. But it's like, nah, bro, I came up under this, man. Straight up. Like it's really on some Oakland type time where it's like Oakland was such a melting pot of Black consciousness and the intersection between not only the consciousness, but the health and wellness understanding with the entertainment aspect and the think tank community part. Like all these things was happening. And that's where I come from. I'm from Long Beach. I'm from, right next to Compton, we next to Carson, we next to LA, we next to all these think tanks and all these different people and ways of life coming together as Black Americans. And that's why people like Corey Holcomb have such a huge regard here, because Corey been in these streets, man. Corey is a real LA dude. I mean, he's not from LA, but he's been in LA for so long. He's an icon out here. And so when he speaks on these type of things, it holds a lot of weight. And with him and Tariq linking up, that's a big link up. Big link up.
For miles.
These people who landed here were made to build this nation for nothing.
For free, y'all. For free. All right. And that's why reparations is due. That's why reparations is so important. That's why tangibles is so important to our community, because we are owed a debt. Right here on this channel, I talked about the 40 acres and a lie. Okay. We went through extensively the paperwork and the historical data that showed the 40 acres and a mule that was actually supposed to be allocated to foundational Black Americans after chattel slavery was taken from them, from the small people who was actually given to them very early on, and how they finessed so many other Black families out of their land and farmland that they had actually acquired legitimately. Okay. So when we talk about what's owed to us, what tangibles that we need as a people, and when we're speaking on the tangibles and these tethers get in the way of that, that's a problem. And that's why we standing on lineage business, because we actually have a real bone to pick with the enemy, and y'all getting in the way of that. And I will always bring this back to the forefront. Why are you getting in the way? Why are you getting in the way of what business we have with an enemy? Get out of the way, bro. Get out of the way or hop on the train. It's one or the other, because you're going to get rolled over. Y'all don't want smoke, so get out of the way, man. Straight up, get out of our way, man, because we got stuff to handle, man. Salute to Ezra. He says it may have been delayed, but it will be paid 100%. And that's why, you know what I mean? Hold up. Let me pull this up just to make sure we're doing the right things on this platform. And that's why divine intervention is real. Divine intervention is real. Straight up, man. Straight up. You got this guy right here. Okay. We already know what he did to Sandra Massey. You know what I'm saying? We already know that. Sonya Massey lost her life because of this demon. Right? And guess what happened to him? He ain't make it. He ain't make it. You can't tell me the ancestors ain't real, y'all. You can't tell me that these type of things are not real. She rebuked him in the name of Jesus Christ. She rebuked him in the name of Jesus Christ. Our FBA sister, Sonya Massey, you feel me? Rest in peace. You rebuked him in the name of Jesus Christ, and she lost her life soon after that, man. So you already know God gonna do what God gotta do. His battle is not yours, all right? It's the Lord's. We know that. It's not ours. It's the Lord's. You feel me? And we're going to trust every single time. But at the end of the day, this proves the point. Like Ezra was saying, a debt will be paid. Everybody owes in debt. Nobody in this life, nothing is free. Nothing in life is free, okay? So when you go out here and you try your best to what? Take advantage of the lineage, talk down on the lineage, try your best to debunk about what we got going on, trying to get in the way. All of these people have taken L's, bro. We saw that George Zimmerman is now homeless, destitute, and he on his way up out of here. All right? He's up out of here, homie. See you later. Never to be heard from again, right? Because he's out of here. He's done. He still owes a debt. And he thinks that, okay, yeah, like nothing's going to happen to me, man. He thought he was all good. He thought he was just going to be able to walk. He thought that, okay, cool, stand your ground. I'm out of there. Nah, bro. You owe a debt because what you did to Trayvon Martin will never be forgiven. That young brother didn't deserve what happened to him. And when you did that, oh yeah, we need that, bro. We need that. Sean Grayson, you're out of there. See you later. Sayonara, homie. Take the L. See you later. Umar Johnson, where's the school? Where's the school, Umar? I think a lot of people would like to know. A lot of people have made donations. A lot of people have supported you. Where's the school? Anybody in the chat, let me know where the school is, because I ain't seen it. I ain't seen no updates on the school, y'all. Somebody let me know in the chat if you've seen any updates on the school, the Marcus Garvey Academy, whatever the heck. All right. Adam 22, we already know, man. He on the outs. Adam 22, nobody watches No Jumper anymore. It's boring. It's dead content, man. Nobody cares about that stuff. Life's too crazy right now for anybody to be caring about gang politics and all the other BS that he likes to peddle off about the worst of our community. Obviously, we know that Amaral Fettel, he's on a generational fall off. Like, this guy is the definition of falling off completely. He's completely deplatformed on all social media. Does he even have a community that he can really be a part of? Because, like, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? John Pierre's the nerve, you know what I'm saying? Like Brooke said, the nerve of John Pierre hopping out there to say something bad on Black American reparations. Like, the nerve of this. Yeah, we ain't even gonna go there, okay? Byron Donalds, he is up for election, but nobody care about Byron, man. Nobody cares about Byron. Byron is just a tool that's gonna be used and broken once they're done using them. Straight up, bro. Nobody care about these people, bro. They're losers, dog. So let's continue with Corey here.
I'm giving you the background because it's got to be said in 5150 terms, ignorant terms, whatever they want to call it. Wait, somebody said, let me go back down before I go back down right there. Let me. Somebody said, every immigrant is not a tether. Stop that. Isn't a tether just the ones who go against us? That's not true, my brother George Staples. But look, back on this. So we built this nation, and we never got paid for it. So there is a group of people who are here. This is why Tariq say foundational Black Americans. We are the people who had to put it together under whip, chain, all that. We had to put it together for no money.
This is, we talk about this a lot, obviously, on my channel. I do a lot of history, a lot of deep dive, a lot of historical, relevance. And we talk about this, is the fact that there are so many economies, so many different things, inventions over time that foundational Black Americans have contributed to this country, and we are the foundation of this country. Everything that has been built was based on what our infrastructure brought to the table. What slavery did for the economy set them up for generational wealth, all right? You guys don't understand how intricate slavery was in the building of a lot of these families that a lot of people talk about, these generational families that are so rich and wealthy, and all the billions that they've accumulated over time. That was on the backs of our ancestors. Those same descendants of that money, okay, that went upward, We are the descendants of those same people who helped build it. I don't understand how that's so hard for people to grasp, is the fact that there was a people here who did a lot of work for free. And if they didn't do that, they were unalived. They were hung. They were done the most dirty of all people of the existence of any people who have been put through any Holocaust that you can imagine. We have gone through that for generations. Okay? So now we're talking about those people who literally did it for free, nothing given to them. So over time, we said, hold up, man, maybe we need to get paid for this, guys. I think we need to get money because this is what you guys owe us. We see how well the country's doing. Give us our cut. We helped you guys become the superpower that you are today. We fought your wars. We've helped bail you guys out of so many different downturns in this economy. During the Great Depression, you guys attacked our Wall Street because y'all's collapsed. Ours was actually in great condition and we were going like this. And then you guys chose to go ahead and destroy that. We're not old for that? Nah, bruh. I'm gonna need all that. I'm gonna need all my coins. I'm gonna need every single coin that you guys took from us. I'm gonna need that back plus some more, man, please. The entire world benefited 100%, bro. Salute, as that's a great comment. The whole world benefited from Foundational Black Americans. Everything that we've created, the sound, the flow, the smooth skill set, all of the things that we've contributed, the whole world benefited from it, not just America, the whole world. So yeah, you damn right we're gonna get out here and talk crazy, man. What?
Murdered, slaughtered as we go, never treated fair on purpose. So the group of people that remain from the people that were brought here after, to basically be slaves and build this country, I think those are the people who Tariq is calling foundational Black Americans. And he's going to come on the show eventually and talk about this because I just think it's fascinating that he made this point. And he used the word tether. And this word has gotten under the skin of people who fit the description of this perfectly.
Look, man, I mean, obviously I couldn't have said it better, but Corey really encapsulated it so well, is the fact that if like I mentioned, if it don't apply, you can let it fly, right? If you don't feel that you are tethered, you feel like you are respectful towards the lineage, then this don't apply to you. But otherwise, right, in other news, right, these people 100% it applies to, because they have a specific bone to pick with our lineage, and they've gone out of their way on multiple occasions to say a lot of things about the lineage. And so now they deserve to be put on the Summer Jam screen and addressed correctly. All right. Because at the end of the day, like I just showed you guys, I just painted the whole picture all together over an hour for y'all. All right. This type of stuff, when we're talking about the obsession, it's a deep-rooted hate, a deep-rooted confusion that they have for us when we trying to actually get to the real ones. We ain't got time to be dealing with y'all when we got real pressing issues, man. Like I told y'all, we trying to get them reparations. We trying to get them tangibles, bro. We don't got time for y'all getting in the way. But guess what? When you're doing it and you're doing it on a legislative level, like a lot of these people, these tethers are doing it, like John Pierre and Byron Donald, okay? Corporate levels, all right? When you're on this level, now it's a problem. Now we got to raise awareness. Now we got to get on your ass, because what you're doing now is undermining the lineage, and you're causing damage for the future of our lineage. Okay? The little slick comments and little things you talking about, oh yeah, you gonna age us out, all this other stuff, you wilding, bro. You wilding if you think the young bulls ain't looking at this, if they're not paying attention just like they are with other social media. You don't think the young bulls is watching Tariq? You don't think the young bulls is watching Ant CEO? You don't think the young bulls is watching Alpha Elite? You don't think the young bulls is watching Torian? I don't know what's wrong with y'all, man. If you think that's gonna happen, you're gonna be mistaken, bro. But the fact of the matter is, we gotta be careful of these people. And now that we have the platforms, and now that we in motion, now that we really smashing the gas on it, yeah, they can't run. Ain't no more just blending in no more. Ain't no more just, oh, I'm just gonna blend in the back and then I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. No, bro. It's, hey man, it's a black guy right there. What he do? Where he from? Is he Black American? Now that's a new vibe, bro. I don't care, bro. I don't care how it make nobody feel, bro. Straight up. If you gonna wear the skin and you gonna say you black, we gotta know what your objective is, what your plan is, what tangibles are you bringing to the community? Because guess what? They're gonna ask the same questions of everybody else. They're gonna ask the same questions about content creators, what we out here doing, how are we actually boots on the ground and all this other stuff. So yeah, what you think we're not gonna ask it of a public official, like a politician, bro? What? You're gonna be held accountable just like everybody else. You're gonna be held accountable like the public official that you are supposed to be, because you represent us. It's not the other way around, my guy. Straight up. You ain't gonna just get in these offices and think that you can just be in these positions and not do nothing for black folks. Those days are over, bro. All that talk, that talk, that's done, bro. All that Al Sharpton slick hair, wearing a suit, nah, bro. Those days are done, bro. We got to know what you on. If you're a real one, if you really about the lineage, if you really gonna stand on business, because if you not, get the F out the way. Please move. Because we don't got time for that, bro. It's too many pressing things right now. It's too much going on in the world to be letting dudes like this get in the way. Dudes like this is getting in the way of what we got going on. Dudes like this, bro. What we talking about, man? Really? Dudes like this are getting in the way, bro, of what's really cracking. Like, what are we talking about, man? I swear to God, like y'all gotta help me in the chat, man. Let me know, because maybe I'm tripping. Like I said, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there's something wrong with me. You know, maybe I'm just like off base here. But what I mean, I'm gonna say this shit is the fact that we can't keep letting these tethers get in the way, bro. Those days are over, bro. You're cooked now. All right. So look, I'm gonna put this link in the chat. Anybody who want to come up before I get up out of here, man, because your boy definitely want to hear y'all opinion about these tethers running crazy on these streets, these YouTube streets. You know, you got something to say. If you think you a tether and you want to say something, you got something to say to me. Let's hear it. Because at the end of the day, we here for the dialogue. Like I told y'all, this platform, we made it in a specific way where, yeah, it's open platform. You know, if you got something to say, if you want to say something, the link is in the chat. You can hop up here and speak your piece. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we do it, bro. You know what I mean? I'm willing to hear it. But if it's just some BS, obviously, we're not going to play it in games. We're going to get you right up out of here. But when it comes to the conversation of the tethers, right, we got to make sure that we stand on business, because like I told you, it's not just the regular stuff. They doing real stuff.
Again, we have to focus on ourselves, because we're at a point now where when President little brother, it was all good. We have to focus on ourselves, because we're at a point now where when President Devon was talking about the little brother, it was all good till you got in our politics. Now you are standing at the White. Look, Jean-Pierre was the press secretary in the White House and had the nerve to fix her mouth and tell us that she don't agree with reparations. Who the f is she to stand in a position that she could never have if we didn't give it to her. And then tell us what we don't deserve in our country. You go back to Haiti and finish paying France since you want to talk about reparations.
Salute to the sister. Salute to the sister Brooke, man. Salute to the daily wrap up, man. Salute to them over there, man. Standing on FBA business, because that's real. If you feeling some type of way, you got all that passion, why can't you just go to Haiti and go get it cracking over there, bro? Y'all got plenty of work. Y'all got a lot of stuff. Y'all work so hard. Y'all be really doing it. I think the perfect time to do it is now. I think your country needs you. I think they do, man. I mean, they always telling us about serving our community and doing what we got to do and cleaning up the community. What's wrong with the hood? Okay, well, look, I think you have a whole country, a whole country that can definitely benefit from all that hard work and college education and all the connects that you have to all these different nonprofit organizations, right? Y'all got all that stuff. Take that and go to Haiti, go to wherever you came from and get it cracking, man. If it's so great, right? If it's so great, if it's so much better than America, and if we so lazy, we don't do nothing over here, we dirty Black Americans, all this other stuff, okay, then I think you got something. I think you could go over there and get it cracking for real. Like, it would really be cracking for you. Like, you could do a lot, right? And I think they're on a peso system in Haiti, so I think that you guys can really get it cracking. But let me let the sister talk one more time.
We have to focus on ourselves, because we're at a point now where when President Devine was talking about the little brother, it was all good till you got in our politics. Now you are standing at the White. Look, Jean Pierre was the press secretary in the White House and had the nerve to fix her mouth and tell us that she don't agree with reparations. Who the f is she to stand in a position that she could never have if we didn't give it to her? And then tell us what we don't deserve in our country. You go back to Haiti and finish paying France since you want to talk about reparations.
That's all I gotta say, man. Y'all get up here, y'all talk about reparations, y'all talking down on reparations, y'all saying Black Americans don't deserve reparations. Everybody deserves reparations if Black Americans is getting reparations. And it's like every single time we prove to y'all that you're wrong, that you're lying, that you're not making sense, that your argument is empty. And so once we started doing that, everybody started getting tight. Like I told you, everybody started getting tight. Everybody started getting or feeling some type of way. Everybody started saying, why are you guys calling us tethers? Why are you guys doing this? You guys were calling us these names when we were young. In the neighborhood, they used to be doing this to us. Just lying. Okay, all these, you got the little miniature violin. Like, man, if y'all don't stop, nobody got time for that, yo. Like, we passed that, yo. Straight up, man. All right, well, the link was up. Nobody came up, and that's cool. You know what I mean? That's perfect for me. I can get up out of here. So salute to y'all. Thank you so much. This was a great stream. And like I said, man, we're continuing to build the channel, right? We're doing what we can, but it's important. It is important that you like the video. It's important that you subscribe to the channel, because that helps me stay in the algorithm. It helps me do what I gotta do, man. It helps me stay in the forefront of these type of topics. You feel me? Yeah, salute to Nori. What's up? Most of us never even grew up around them like that. Yeah, man, that's why I said a lot of this is, they just be up there lying, bro. These dramatic fake stories about what they used to be called and what bullies used to do to them and all this other stuff. It's like, bro, y'all just gotta stop lying, man. Your story can still be relevant without having to lie. Like, you can still speak from your perspective and point of view without having to always lie and always fabricate and always be over the top. Like, just tell your story. What happened to you? How it happened? Okay. But like, to lie and fabricate and all that other stuff is just it's bush league. It's very low IQ, you know, it's very you know, exhausting, right? Because obviously that's all they got, you know. Once the truth don't work, they start telling lies. Ain't that how the quote goes? Once the truth start working, they start telling lies. So yeah, we're gonna keep letting them lie, y'all. You know what I mean? All we got to do, like I said, we're gonna use our platforms to continue to stand on business, lineage business, and stay out of the way of all the mess. We ain't got time for that. We got a bigger fish to fry here, and it has a lot to do with us getting paid. So, you know, black folks, we gonna make sure we get paid. That's a fact. But yeah, salute to y'all, man. Thank you guys all for pulling up. We're gonna make sure to keep these streams going as much as we can. You know, I'll be doing my thing. Obviously, you guys can see I'm very dark right now because I've been out there surfing. Like I said, I dropped a few pics. You know, I've been out in them wave streets. You feel me? Getting these waves. It's been crazy out here. Obviously, it's been hot in LA and Cali. I don't know how it is where y'all at, but on the West Coast, it's been scorching, man. So I've been at the beach, man. I've been, you know, getting the tan. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I gotta do. Fishing off the back of boats and stuff. We're gonna drop a vlog soon. Just so y'all can understand the type of shenanigans your boy gets into when I'm not in this room doing what I gotta do to connect with all my favorite people that y'all pull up on me all the time, man. So yeah, salute to y'all. Make sure you guys, like I said, like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hype the video if you see this after the live stream. You know what I'm saying? Because that also helps me stay in the algorithm as well, y'all. But Brandon B, I'm part of Elite Media, man. You know what we do. We always going to bring the receipts. We always going to bring the truth. And we always going to speak it unfiltered. So